Hey guys, what's up? I know that I promised to have this Q&A video out about 3 or 4 days ago, but because of my busy work schedule this week, I wasn't able to upload the video or even make it. So here it is now. I know it's a few days late, but at least I'm getting it done and I'm not waiting 2 months for it. So let's get started. So in this Q&A video, I will be answering the questions that you've left me over the course of about a week. Our first question comes from Instagram, and this person on Instagram asked, will you ever finish your how-to series on YouTube? The how-to series on YouTube is something that will never truly be finished, because there are so many mocks that I make that people want to see how to build. There's no way that I can actually end the series. Now, the series will end with the ending of my channel, which is a while down the road. But because I have so many mocks to do tutorials on that people have asked me to do, there's no real foreseeable future for when that series is going to conclude. Our next question comes from YouTube, and this person asks, can I copy off of your vehicle designs? Now, this is a question that I get asked a lot on both YouTube and on Instagram. And the thing is that yes, you are allowed to copy off of my designs, but...
No, a catch.
But if you were going to post these on, say, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, blah blah blah, whatever social media website that you use, you must give me credit. I cannot stress this enough. When it comes to the LEGO community, we want to have our designs being, out there, but we also want them to still be our designs. We want people to know that these are our designs and not have anyone taking credit for something that they did not make themselves. So that's the only catch. You have to give me credit. Our next question comes from the same person, and he asks, what does MOC stand for? MOC, M-O-C, is an acronym used by the LEGO community, and it stands for My Own Creation. It's an easier way of spelling out the words my own creation. It's just the best way for people to say that this is something that I made. This is not a set, this is not someone else's design. This was a mock, my own creation. We're going back to Instagram for these next few questions. The first one is, will you do a tutorial on the SWAT truck? And yes, I will eventually do a tutorial on the SWAT truck, but that is not a priority on the list of things that I'm going to be doing tutorials on. My next tutorial will be on the Crown Victoria police car, because that is something that I've gotten a lot of, and it's a small thing that is pretty easy to do a tutorial on. After that, I'm probably going to do a tutorial on the Explorers. I have to do another one because the old one that I had is outdated because I'm not using that design anymore. So yes, I will eventually do a tutorial on the SWAT truck, just not anytime soon. Our next question from Instagram asks, why build 6-wide vehicles instead of 5-wide vehicles? Now, this is a question that I get asked a lot on Instagram. The reason why I build 6-wide vehicles instead of 5-wide is because that is something that I've been doing for years. I've stuck with that, I started with that, and I'm going to continue doing that. In the question, they are referring to the LEGO Fire community, and the thing is with the LEGO Fire community, they build all their fire trucks 6-wide, like mine, but they build all of their smaller vehicles, like pickup trucks, SUVs, cars in 5 or 4-wide formats. Me, on the other hand, I started doing 6-wide SUVs, cars, and stuff like that before I even had a fire department. So when I had the fire department, I didn't have a whole lot of pieces. And I wasn't that great at building at the time when I started my fire department. So it started off as 6 wide, and it still is 6 wide vehicles, but everything else that I've built has always been, 6 wide, because that is the scale I'm going for. Now, eventually in the future, I will be changing all my fire trucks and larger vehicles to 8 wides, which will put them in scale with, my 6 wide vehicles. The thing is, that's not going to happen anytime soon because of parts, time, money. I want to spend my money on other things. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm not going to go into any huge projects like that. Mostly because I think I'm going to stop with all huge projects by December or January. And I don't see a reason to change the size of my vehicles at the moment. Our next question asks, do you sell trucks? Now, this is by far my most frequently asked question. And my answer all the time is no, I do not sell trucks. The reason I don't sell trucks is because when I build something, I put a lot of work and effort into it. I spend hours, days building something, and even though I'd be getting money by selling it, it just seems like a waste to me. Why put all that effort into something that I'm just going to give away? I already have a job, so I don't need really any more money. I'm not looking for any more money at the moment, so I don't need to sell things. And I don't truly understand the appeal of selling the trucks besides getting money for it, but the thing is that I like to keep all my mocks, I like to display them, and that's just me. There are plenty of other people in the LEGO Fire community and onwards that do sell mocks. You can go through Instagram, YouTube, there are tons of people who do that. I am just one of the people who do not sell their vehicles and mocks. Our next question asks, what inspired you to start filming on YouTube? Well, what initially inspired me to start doing YouTube was seeing a lot of different accounts on YouTube that make LEGO mocks. Especially Jane Bricks, which is arguably the biggest channel on LEGO related channel on YouTube at the moment, and seeing a few other people in the LEGO Fire community actually do YouTube videos. Now, there aren't a whole lot, there may be 1 or 2 that I know of at the time, but that inspired me to start doing a YouTube channel. Started off small, bad quality videos, but I'm working my way up to making my videos better and having more frequent uploads. So that's what inspired me to do YouTube. What also inspired me was seeing friends and family do YouTube. So I was like, what the heck, we'll try it. And it's working out so far, so thanks for asking. Our next question asks, can you show me how to build the EMS? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit confused when I heard this question, because I didn't know if he meant the ambulance, the supervisor unit, or the mass casualty unit, or the actual EMS station. But this goes back to my tutorial question that I had a little bit earlier. Ambulance related EMS vehicles are not high on the priority list. Those are a bit further down, so that will be happening eventually, but the same thing with the SWAT truck, it's not something that you're going to see in the next few weeks. So, sorry, but, that's just my scheduling, that's just how things are going to work. But, it's good to get these questions anyway, I like to hear from my audience and for people to tell me what they want to see. Now I have 2 questions that are the same. They both ask, can you do a tutorial on the Polaris Atv? And the answer is, again, going back to my other tutorial video, yes, I will do a tutorial on the Polaris Atv. Now, that is something that I can do very soon. That is something you're going to be seeing in the next 2 weeks, because it is a small vehicle, a tutorial video that I can whip out in 2 hours. And it's actually got less pieces than the motorcycle, so I can definitely do that. So I will be doing that probably after my Crown Victoria video or after my Explorer video. So get ready to see that pretty soon. Our next question asks, I have just started getting into mock building, and I'm a huge fan of your Union Pacific mock. Thank you, by the way. And I was wondering, do you have any tips on how to build a diesel locomotive? Now, in the question, he was referring to the structure and how I put together the diesel locomotive. And yes, I do have a few tips for you. Now, when I built the diesel locomotive, the Union Pacific, I just used a bunch of gray plates. That's all I used for the base of the train, and then I built the engine section, the cab section on top of that, and I left about a plate's width on either side for railings and a walkway. I didn't use any specialized train parts except for the bogie wheels. I didn't make the bogies motorized, so I just used a 2x2 turntable to attach the bogies to the underside of the plates. Motorizing a train of that size is not something I can give you help on because I don't know how to do it myself. But there is a person on Instagram, I forget the username, but he does a lot of Union Pacific mocks. He does a lot of trains, and he has been able to motorize his 8-wide trains. Now, in my initial post on Instagram for the Union Pacific locomotive, I did mention his name and gave a link to his page in the description. So if you go over to my Instagram and click on that, it'll bring you to his page and you can go check that out and you can ask him, how did he motorize the trains? But when it comes to building the actual structure of the train, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna use plates and normal bricks. Now for the sides, I did a studs not on top construction to give an effect of like paneling, and I just used regular bricks for everything else. I used a lot of that snot technique to get some of the angles at the back and at the front. I hope I answered that question how you wanted it to be. I hope I gave you some helpful tips, and I hope you do well on that diesel locomotive mocks. I would be very excited to see, what you have created. If you do make it anytime soon, you can leave me a link to that because I would honestly love to see that. Our last true question comes from YouTube, and it asks, where do you get all your Speed Champions tires and wheels? This is a question that I've gotten asked a few times before, so I'm gonna just reiterate what I said then. Most of the wheels that I have been ordered from Bricklink. Those are the wheels from my fire trucks. I did a huge order last summer to redo the wheels on the fire trucks, but really any other wheels and mud guards that I have on my other vehicles and mocks were just gotten from the actual Speed Champion sets. Now, as much as I really love the Speed Champions vehicles, I mostly get the sets for the parts, especially the wheels and mud guards. Because some of the Speed Champions cars are not my favorite, but they do have a great selection of parts. So I'll usually go and buy those sets because not only are the wheels useful, but some of the other parts, because they have some pretty unique parts. And what I've found is getting Speed Champion sets is a great way to get new parts, like newly released parts. Just a quick note before the video ends, I do want to point out that I was not able to get through everyone's comments and questions, but I will be going over them in a future live stream either tonight or next Thursday, so you will get your answers. Bye everyone for now. I hope you have a great day.